What is going on, guys? Train back at you today with another video. You know, I was actually beginning to think that we saw the end of our Cyber Dragon support. You know, since the Cyber Dragon Horizon had such, like, I think it was like 4 cards. I don't know, 5 cards. I lost count. But you know, it turns out I was actually wrong. At some point this year, we're going to be getting another Duelist Pack, much like we had with the Ancient Millennium Pack that introduced the legacy support for Pegasus and Bandit Keith and Crowler. So far, this one's going to give us more legacy support for Kaiba and Zane Truesdale. Kaiba's getting a lot of fucking support lately with the Legendary Collection Kaiba and all this shit that's just been coming out for him, which is nuts. But, you know, since we're getting more Zane Truesdale support, that means more Cyber Dragon support. And I'll always take more Cyber Dragon support, man. I'll never stop saying, you know, give me Cyber Dragons, man. You know, but before we get into the new pack, I want to talk about a card that we might possibly get in the Battles of Legend, Relentless Revenge. That's always a mouthful for me to fucking say. Set coming this summer, I want to say it's coming out, which also has some Cyber Dragon support to an extent. So, this is Emergency Cyber, a normal spell card with effect reading. You can only activate a card with this card's name once per turn. Add from your deck to your hand either 1 Cyber Dragon monster or 1 Light Machine monster that cannot be normal summoned or set. If this card is sent to the graveyard because your opponent's card negated this card's activation, you can discard 1 card from your hand, add this card from the graveyard to your hand. So basically it's a, we're getting a more specific Rhoda for Cyber Dragons, you know, even though in my eyes it's just another version of Cyber Repair Plant without having to have that Cyber Dragon in the graveyard. Is it better than Cyber Repair Plant though? No, because with Repair Plant you can get any of your Light Machine monsters from the deck, you know, not just one that can't be normal summoned. I mean, you're probably going to be running it in a Cyber Dragon deck anyway, so most of your monsters are going to be Cyber Dragons or treated as Cyber Dragons, blah blah blah, something to that extent. But I mean, it also has the bonus effect that if you have 3 or more Cyber Dragons in the graveyard, you can shuffle any one of your Light Machines back into the deck and also get that search off, so that's still pretty good. Emergency Cybers is still a good searcher, and you know, you can run this on top of Cyber Repair Plant just to get more searchability in a turn, since they're both once per turn cards. I'm just unsure of the ratios to run with both of them. I mean, I also like this card though, because it's also got that bonus effect through amazing recoverability. If your opponent tries to negate it, and all you have to do is discard a card, and you'll get it back to your hand, and you get to activate it all over again. You know, and depending on what you send, you know, maybe you could send a Hertz, or so you could get that double search, or a Cyber Dragon core, and you can special summon a Cyber Dragon if you banish that core. You know, it's also got Cyber in the name, so that makes it searchable from Cyber Dragon Core, and the new trap card we're going to get, Cybernetic Overflow. I think it's when it's destroyed you get a Cyber Speller Trap. So with that, let's just go ahead and get into the new cards from the new Legendary Duelist Pack, or Duelist Pack 20, whatever you guys want to call it for now. This is Cyber Pharaohs, a level 1 Light Machine effect monster with 0 attack and 2100 defense. With effect reading, you can use the third effect of this card's name only once per turn. You can special summon this card from your hand by trading 1 machine monster. Once per turn, you can fusion summon 1 machine fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from your hand or field as fusion materials. When a fusion monster you control is destroyed by battle, you can banish this card from your graveyard, add 1 power bond from your deck to your hand. Boom! There it is, guys, the Power Bond Searcher we've been asking for years. But the Power Bond Searcher that we've been asking for, that's very, very gimmicky. So my first impressions of this anyway. It's a level 1, so, you know, there's a 1-for-1 target for you. You know, you've also got the walking polymerization effect, kind of like how Ancient Gears have Ancient Gear Hunting Hound, so that's actually pretty cool to have just for another form of fusion, even though there's like, I don't know, 3 forms of fusion at this point. You know, and of course, if one of your fusion monsters is destroyed by battle, you can get that power bond. What I like is that, you know, this just has to be in the graveyard to activate that effect, so you could have used it to fusion summon the monster that was there already, or if you want to, you can even use Foolish Burial and put it in there. But even when it comes to that, like, I know there's a few better targets to Foolish in the Cyber Dragon deck itself. I mean, I don't know. I don't get it, man. You've already used up all your resources to get your fusion monster out, so what are you going to have left for your materials to use that power bond for? I mean, unless you survive to your next turn, then I can understand, but it's, like I said at the beginning of the card, like, it's just way too gimmickly and just so fucking disappointing. So next up is a new spell for the archetype, Cyber Load Fusion, a quick play spell card with effect reading. You can only activate a card with this card's name once per turn. Cyber Dragons love that once per turn clause in just about every single one of their fucking monsters. Your monsters cannot attack for the rest of this turn except for a monster special summoned by this effect. Also, fusion summon one fusion monster that lists a Cyber Dragon monster as material from your extra deck by shuffling fusion materials in your possession listed on it into your deck that are on the field or banished. So the clause at the beginning kind of turns me off a little bit and pushes me away from the card, only being able to use that monster to attack for the rest of the turn. But then I started thinking about it a little more and thinking of ways that it can be used. So you could go all out with your monsters that you control during the battle phase, whether it's like 2 or 3 Cyber Dragons or just forms of Cyber Dragons that are treated as Cyber Dragons, so I can say Cyber Dragon one more fucking time. And then since it's the quick play spell card, you know, you can drop it in that battle phase, fusion summon another monster, and go for another attack. Or if you cleared a board, go for a damage. You know, it's kind of like how the hero decks have the mass change and how they can deal their extra damage, like by just playing a couple of mass changes in the battle phase. So it's really not bad in that sense. It's almost like, you know, they're kind of pushing you into using Overload Fusion to banish those monsters and get a fusion out, and then use this to shuffle those monsters back in the deck that you already used and get another monster out. But at the same time, you have to have an open zone, whether it's an extra monster zone or an open link zone. So it's also another kind of gimmicky thing if you use it that way. This card's also searchable from core and overflow. And that's really it for that. So the last card I want to talk about is Cyber Eternity Dragon, a level 10 late machine fusion effect monster with 2800 attack and 4000 defense. That's a lot. Fusion materials being 1 Cyber Dragon monster and 2 machine monsters with effect reading. While a machine monster is in your graveyard, this card cannot be targeted by or destroyed by an opponent's card effect. If this fusion summon card is sent to the graveyard by your opponent, you can special summon 1 Cyber Dragon from your hand, deck, or graveyard. You can banish this card from your graveyard for the rest of the turn. Fusion monsters you control cannot be targeted by or destroyed by an opponent's card effect. So I was a little confused at this by first. You know, such a big level 10 fusion monster that needs a lot of materials with only 2800 attack, and you'd kind of think the attack would be switched with the defense with the like 4000 attack and 2000 defense, but then I started doing some research and that's exactly what Cyber End Dragon's stats are. So it'd just be another Cyber End Dragon. But, you know, and then I started thinking about Cyber Pharaohs, the Power Bond Searcher, if that's what you want to call it at this point. And I kind of see the synergy with these two, since the attack is so low. I mean, like 2800 attack, you know, that's not really that low, but it's also not really that high. It can be destroyed by battle. So it can be destroyed by battle, and then you can get that Power Bond Search off with the Pharaohs. But I mean, then again, you also use 3 and possibly 4 cards to get that, you know, Cyber Eternity Dragon out. So what kind of card economy are we talking about then? You know, other than special summoning a Cyber Dragon from your hand, deck, or grave, you're not really going to have much to use that Power Bond for. But I also started thinking about more plays with Pharaohs. So you could have one of your fusions out and then use Pharaoh's effect to tribute it and special summon it from your hand, and then have more monsters on the field for you to use the Pharaoh's fusion effect, the walking polymerization basically, to get the Eternity out, and then have the first effect live, being able to be untargetable and non-destructive by your opponent's card effects. So, I mean, with that 4,000 defense, that'd be a pretty big wall for your opponent to try to beat over. So, I mean, there's not really many cards. Like, I know Nin Girsu could be like, send one card you control and one your opponent controls to the graveyard, and that's really like, that's non-targeting, I don't know what you would call it, like removal, but I mean, I don't know if that would even work on this. But I'll be honest, like, all the new cards are a little lackluster to me, and a lot of them have like very gimmicky effects. But I can also kind of see their use in a Cyber Dragon deck. I mean, I can say, like, I like the direction that Konami is starting to push us with Cyber Dragon players, and how we want to build our decks, like trying to get us back into the original like fusion summoning style deck instead of the rank 5 plays that we've been trying to do. So with the new support, I can see the fusion deck becoming more of a threat as opposed to the rank 5 deck. I mean, I know I'm going to be testing the fusion support in preparation of the new cards coming out like later this year. And I really want to see if I want to play the fusion style more than the rank 5. So let me say fusion and rank 5 one more fucking time. But I just want to know what you guys think. Are you excited for the new Cyber Dragon support and the Legendary Duelist Pack, or are you just going to stick with the support in Cybernext Horizon? Are you going to build them with the rank 5? Are you going to build the fusion? Just how are you going to build them? Let me know down in the comment section below, and Cyber Dragons for life. Thanks for watching, y'all, but this is where the train ends with me, your host, Kill Train. If you made it this far, I think of you. If you could go ahead and show me some support, that'd be fucking fantastic. I would appreciate all of it. Thumbs up if you liked the video, comment any opinions or ideas you have for me. Consider hitting that sub button for me for more weekly content that I keep intending to put out about our beloved pieces of expensive cardboard. That'll be it for me. I'll catch you guys next time.